Hey everybody, what's up? This is Will, your guide down the road to strong. Today I want to talk about, again, weight loss and some of the things that could complicate weight loss. So, as many of you have probably done and seen, you go online, you're trying to find out, how do I lose weight? I'm having trouble losing weight. And you'll find plethora of forums of people pretty much having the same kind of issues as you. They're having trouble losing weight. And just they are battered and beaten back by these guys who just simply state, hey, physics and thermodynamics dictate energy in equals energy out. So if you don't have a caloric deficit, you're not going to lose weight. You have to have a caloric deficit. But what if you've been trying to have a caloric deficit and it doesn't seem to be working quite right? So for instance, you're overweight, you're very overweight, and you've gone online, you've done the metabolic calculators, you've seen how many calories you need to limit yourself by, and you've been following it pretty well, but you can't seem to drop the weight, and you just can't seem to fathom it. These guys are saying, oh, just, calories, it's just calories. And to some extent they're right, but that works for the majority of the population, 90% of people, that will work for them. And that's basically because there's nothing complicating their road to losing weight. Okay, so in this video I kind of want to go over the things that might complicate weight loss. What could make losing weight harder? All right, so let's just say for like 90% of the population, caloric deficit would work. That means still 1 in 10 people, it wouldn't work out quite as easily for them, or at least it wouldn't in any reasonable manner, right? If you're really heavy and you're eating 3,000 calories a day and you've now limited yourself to 2,000 calories a day, that could be just fine, but for some reason the weight's not hopping off yet. So what do you do from there? You drop to 1,500, okay, stretching it a little bit thin. You're still having trouble though. 1,000 calories? That sounds a bit dangerous, and it is. I don't think there's anyone who should be eating less than 1,000 calories. So let's move on with that, okay? So let's call this weight management, because this can affect weight gain and weight loss. All right, so some of the things to consider for weight loss, first and foremost, is the caloric deficit. You do need to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight. There's really nothing else that you can do solely alone that will likely help you lose weight quite as much as just having a caloric deficit. So you have to stay on top of that, certainly. That's one of the big major factors, and there's 3 major factors that I'm going to go over, but I'm not going to just go over them immediately. We're going to go through some of these other ones. So there's stress. Stress has been shown in a multitude of studies to contribute to weight gain and weight loss. It really depends on the body and how you as an individual react to stress. Sleep is another important one, and one of the reasons why I think it's very important is, quite frankly, when you're sleeping, you're not eating. So the more time that you can spend not eating means more time your body's able to burn calories. Another one is illness, right? Think about a fever. When you're in a fever, you're very hot. You're running a temperature of maybe 100 degrees, which is higher than the normal one for a human, which is about 98.6 or 31 degrees Celsius, give or take. So just think about that. You're at a higher temperature. If for your body to maintain a higher temperature, the metabolism has to kick it into a higher gear. You're burning more calories to maintain that high temperature. So you're going to have a higher caloric burn with your metabolism. You're going to be sweating, so you're losing water weight. And the body's just under a lot of stress. It's doing a lot to auto-regulate itself. Another one is the types of food you eat. Believe it or not, the type of food you eat can play a role just as much as the caloric deficit itself can play a role. Certain foods will impact the microbacteria, the fauna in your gut, which can affect your brain, which will affect a lot of other functions. And this is a really complicated and deep subject. I would suggest there's a video by Elliot Hulse. He goes into this, and I'll try to have a link to that video in the description. Go watch that one. He does a great job of explaining these things, and it's so complicated and deep how much what's in your stomach can influence everything else about your body. But so the types of food that will impact what you have going on in your gut. So the type of food you eat, regardless of the caloric deficit, can have an impact. All right. Another one, one of the big three is activity. The two of these are no-brainers. It's caloric deficit and activity. Are you sitting 90% of the day, or 90% of your week, 95% of your week? Are you going out? Are you walking your dog? Are you playing frisbee? Are you exercising? Are you working out? Are you doing anything, right? Beyond your current lifestyle, because your current lifestyle obviously isn't working if you're overweight and you're struggling to lose weight. So another thing to consider are ongoing syndromes and diseases like diabetes. Diabetes causes problems with insulin levels, and insulin levels have to deal with your body's ability to absorb sugar. And I haven't made a video about it, but I've made a blog post about it, that all carbs are sugar. And that blows a lot of people's minds. They don't recognize that carbs are sugar. The body breaks down foods, vegetables, pasta, bread, it doesn't matter. If it's considered a carb or it has a lot of carbs in the nutritional panel, that means it's going to get broken down into sugar, and then it'll be used as fuel. So all carbs are sugar. So a person who has diabetes has to be careful about everything regarding carbs. But they most often have to worry about things that are just straight sugar, because that creates a spike in insulin. It causes all these problems because, again, diabetes is basically an insulin deficiency of some kind. Not that you're not having enough insulin, but I mean, it just complicates the whole system surrounding insulin. And because of that, it also changes how the body processes food and those macronutrients, and that can contribute to weight gain or weight loss. It can make it difficult, all right? And so the third thing of the big three, and it's never talked about, rarely spoken of, and barely even well understood by the masses. And I don't know, before I even get into it, I'm going to say I don't know it very well myself, but I am aware enough of its existence and the role that it plays, okay? The third one, the most important thing, without this third thing, 1 and 2 wouldn't matter, and all the other examples I just mentioned wouldn't matter. That third thing is hormones, hormonal regulation, your body's ability to produce and regulate its hormones. Think about it for 30 seconds about what hormones do in the body. What do hormones do in the body? Any ideas? Again, I have only enough of an idea to be somewhat aware of it, okay? The body has two main ways that I know of for sending messages, from the brain out to the muscles. And that way is the nervous system. From the brain down the spinal cord, it branches out into the rest of your body, to your arms, your fingers, all this. This is your nervous system right here, your central nervous system. Electrical signals are being sent down your nervous system all the way to your muscles. It makes them contract and maybe relax. I don't know if it makes them relax, but I know it makes them contract, right? You've seen paramedics use a defibrillator, put it on the chest, the whole body jumps. That's all the muscles activating at once. It's kind of ridiculous. And there's a whole lot of stuff about the nervous system as well. There's a parasympathetic and sympathetic. I'm going to take a small moment just to say, I forget the name of the theory, but as the theory goes, everything can seem very simple and very concise and very small. But anyone who dives into that will find that it is immensely larger than you had previously thought. So you can be like, oh, the nervous system is a really simple thing. Well, you start looking into it, you start finding out it is not a simple thing. Okay? So the other way that I know the body sends signals is through hormones. Hormones are extremely important. One of the most important aspects of the human's body to auto-regulate, to have autonomy. The way I think about the body is not a sentient organism. I'm a sentient organism. I'm consciousness trapped in this mortal coil. But that's the only part of me that's sentient, right? Is my consciousness. The rest of my body, you think my hands are conscientious of anything? No. My gut's not conscientious of anything. The body can't think ahead of time, oh, well, I'm about to eat hot wings, I better settle in for a ride. It doesn't know. What I'm getting at is the body is a reactionary organism. Everything in your body is just reactionary. All it can do is react to its present set of circumstances. If you eat hot wings, the stomach just goes, holy crap, there's capsaicin and it's really hot and spicy, and I wasn't prepared for this, but I'm gonna start churning in response. All right, so that is how hormones work the body. A hormone is this chemical that goes through the bloodstream. It ends up at your muscles, your organs, your brain, anywhere really, and those chemicals will react with those systems, those organic systems in your body in different ways. Okay? A great example is when you were younger and you started to grow. Well, what hormone do you think plays a role in human growth? Human growth hormone, HGH. Now, I'm not an endocrinologist. I don't know hormones in and out. Again, I'm just aware of them. HGH might have nothing to do with human growth, like in terms of height. That's conjecture. I'm talking out of my ass with that. But I do know that the hormones, they're the ones that set off your body to start growing. I know that. Okay? Testosterone from the testicles, as well as there's two other glands. I have my computer page up right here. I can look at that real quick. The pituitary gland has something here called the luteinizing hormone. In women, this hormone regulates estrogen. In men, it regulates testosterone. Scroll on down, the testes. This gland produces testosterone. The adrenal gland, I'm pretty sure, also produces testosterone, but it's not here on this website. There are tons. There's several glands, right? I'll read through them real quick for you. Pituitary gland, hypothalamus, the thymus, the pineal, the testes, the ovaries, the thyroid, the adrenal gland, the parathyroid, and the pancreas. All of these organisms produce hormones, and I'm sure that there are other parts of the body that produce hormones as well. Maybe not. But they are extremely important. They are what tell your body to do things beyond just contract and relax. That's the nervous system. That's all the nervous system can do. The nervous system can tell you to contract, relax, and it tells you when you're feeling pressure on your skin or pain, right? Hormones don't do that, but at the same time, your nervous system can't really tell your muscles to grow. That's what the hormones do. And again, it's all reactionary. The hormones aren't. It's not like your hormones come along as a message and say, "Hey, you have to do this." It's this chemical, the organisms in your muscles get exposed to this chemical, and they go, "Oh, I'm going to do this as a reaction to this chemical for whatever reason. I don't know." Okay. One of the most important glands with hormones and weight loss is the thyroid. It regulates your metabolism. So if you're having trouble losing weight, this is the whole point of this video. If you're having trouble losing weight and you have done everything you can to lose weight, and I mean you really stuck to a very strict and disciplined, like 1 month of I've been eating very strictly and I've been working out and exercising and being active, and you're still having trouble losing weight, I implore you to go see your doctor and go see an endocrinologist. You might have a hormonal problem. And many people might have a hormonal problem, as we are finding out that, again, as I mentioned before, with the whole food, the food you eat impacts your hormone production. Matter of fact, everything you do on a daily basis, to some degree, impacts your hormone production. Working out, believe it or not, induces creation of HGH, as well as a few other hormones. That's why muscle growth is a thing. Okay? So it's not a stretch to think that maybe the food that you're choosing to eat on this diet is affecting your hormones, and those hormones are keeping you from losing weight. Maybe it's causing a problem in your pancreas or your thyroid or wherever it might be. All right? So, I mean, that's the basic gist of it. There's a lot that can be said about hormones and the impact they have on the body. I mean, you've got hormone therapy to go from male to female, female to male. You have HGH, which is a banned substance to be taking in athletics because it just gives you that unfair advantage of being able to grow your muscles at a rate that's just much greater than an athlete that's not taking this in excess, that it's not happening naturally in the body. That being said, you guys, like I said before, if you're having trouble with weight loss, go see your doctor, go see your endocrinologist. Again, might have something wrong with your hormones. Solve that, you might end up losing weight at a much quicker pace, at a much more sustainable pace, a much more reasonable pace. All right? It's all about doing this healthily and in a way that is enjoyable. And nobody enjoys constantly failing at something that, quite frankly, should be very simple. Okay? So Until next time, good luck, have fun, go see your doctor. If you don't need to see your doctor, then don't see your doctor. No reason to spend money, okay? Peace.